1980年的时候，菲律宾成为亚洲几个威权体制国家里头第一个民主国家，当时叫做 People's Power。而当时的独裁者马可仕最后在美国的协助之下逃亡离开了，也留下了一枚带到底有多少鞋子的传说等等。现在他的儿子在5月9号礼拜天的时候要竞选，按照新闻的民调，他笃定当选。他搭档的副手是现任的总统杜特地的女儿。马可仕的儿子在竞选的时刻，为什么不用面对当年马可仕的丑闻呢？他把故事完全翻转着告诉大家，是我的爸爸创造了当年菲律宾的奇迹。菲律宾在2次世界大战刚刚结束的时候，是全亚洲 GDP 第1名的国家。我爸爸在的时代有哪些建设，后来什么东西都没有了。他说的部分有一些是事实，所谓事实就是那个时候因为越战，菲律宾成为美军在当地最重要的补给站，所以他创造了菲律宾的繁荣。但是当越战一结束之后，整个菲律宾的经济就无以为继，这是他没有说的。而他创造所有这样的一个论述，靠的都是 social media， 所以他成为另外一个用 social media 把黑的说成白的，把他的爸爸从一个独裁者说成一个真正菲律宾经济奠基伟大者的一个传奇政治故事，而他会笃定当选。
Nasa ating pagkakaisa ang pag-asa ng ating bayan.
独裁者之子的身份没能削弱他的胜选气势。
Marcos has the support of 56% of likely voters, Robredo 23%. Former boxer turned politician Manny Pacquiao is polling in the mid-single digits, marginally ahead of Manila's mayor Francisco Damagoso.
没有意外的话，5月9日，马可仕的儿子联手杜特地的女儿，将成为菲律宾第17任正副总统。
Bongbong revealed he was avoiding politics when he was young, and he wanted to be an astronaut or musician. But it seems he is fated to enter politics.
You would always say na malaking influence ng dad niyo, and your mom. Pero meron po ba kayong differences with your father, or can you remember a time na you had a disagreement?
No. He's the boss. You don't disagree if he tells you to. Because he's always right anyway, as far as in our situation.
The Marcos name carries significant weight in Philippine politics. Ferdinand Marcos Sr. was a dictator who ruled the country between 1965 and 1986. It was an era marked by the decades-long use of martial law, state-sanctioned torture and blatant corruption. Now, with just days remaining before the May 9 election, the Marcos name edges ever closer to returning to the presidential palace. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., who is known by the nickname Bong Bong, has promised unity for a country facing crisis. The former senator and governor is set to do the unthinkable, resurrecting a family legacy responsible for stealing an estimated $10 billion from taxpayers. But with economic challenges at the forefront of voters' mind, a sense of nostalgia has festered in the Philippines for a time of stability, even under an iron fist.
I want Bong Bong to win because he is the one who has already done something. And when he campaigns, it's not filled with empty promises. People can see that he has already done a lot.
小马可仕否认并拒绝谴责父亲劣迹斑斑的事迹，反而美化了父亲独裁统治下的经济表现。
The Marcos campaign is peddling disinformation about his family's past, and many young voters believe it. More than half of the country's electorate were born after martial law ended, including 23-year-old Reynaldo Pina.
What convinced you to ultimately vote Marcos?
Sarili ko lang, sariling paniniwala. I saw on Facebook.
And how about all of the reports saying that the family had stolen money from the Philippines? What do you think of that?
Nag-research naman ako. Parang inakusa lang sa kanila yan para sa mamaintingin ng Pilipino.
小马可仕的社交媒体平台上，政治内容点缀着轻松愉快的家庭视频日志。 他在 TikTok 上有150多万粉丝，在 YouTube 上有大约224万订阅者，在 Facebook 上还有601万粉丝。马尼拉的政治分析师说，很多人投票给小马可仕，不是因为他们更喜欢他，他们只是不喜欢被告知和被当作坏人对待。
The proclamation of martial law is not a military takeover.
For about a decade, the military basically did his bidding. More than 70,000 people were jailed, 34,000 tortured, and more than 3,200 killed during his dictatorship.
There are a lot of names, aren't there?
Yeah, probably hundreds of them over time.
Andrea Olalia grew up under martial law.
So who did you lose under the Marcos regime?
For us, my family, we lost my second uncle.
Okay.
And his son, my second cousin.
Right.
They're right here.
但伫立在马尼拉的这座纪念碑，正是他父亲血腥镇压的铁证。
This memorial is dedicated to all those who were killed working against the Marcos regime. The family was eventually overthrown in a popular revolt, but they managed to steal billions by the time they fled the country to the U.S.
Because you have to remember, they were kicked out unceremoniously in 1986. If they're going to come back, they're going to come back with a vengeance.
Is it fair that we're judging Marcos Jr. by the sins of his father?
It's a fallacy because we're not judging him just because he's the son of his father. He took his oath before his father, as a matter of fact. No? So he couldn't pretend to be clueless. If somebody who denies reality, who does not acknowledge fact, and revises history and record, you are complicit in the perpetuation of a false memory.
If Marcos is able to win Monday's vote, he'll be the first Philippine leader banned from entering the US, where he faces arrest for defying a court order to pay more than $500 million in damages to human rights victims. Current President Rodrigo Duterte has yet to endorse a candidate, but his party has backed Marcos Jr.
谢谢你收看今天文茜的世界周报以及文茜的世界周报欧洲版，我们明天见，拜拜。
Thank you.